Hey guys, it's Jerron127 coming to y'all again with another video. Today is November 3rd, election day. For those of you who have been sleeping under a rock all year, I'm sure anybody that's been anywhere, you've seen nothing but footage and coverage on the election year this entire year, along with, the corona stuff. With that being said, I wanted to talk about the video that I wanted to post today. I had did an audio rip from another YouTuber on YouTube who posts videos about the scriptures or spirituality. And in this particular video, it was just referencing the coming calamity to the world. And I also wanted to just make a quick point in regards to anyone that's receiving these rapture dreams or visions or second coming dreams, visions, things of that nature. It's important that we understand and have discernment about the stuff that we are receiving in our dreams and understand that the enemy can infiltrate and influence your dreams as well. With that being said, calamity and tribulation will come before any second coming or any rapture, anything of that nature. I'm going to touch on that in another video, but I just wanted to bring up some quick scriptures in relation to the video, or excuse me, to the audio that I was going to post on here as well. And this will be coming from Revelation chapter 7, verse 2 through 4. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Then we're going to fast forward to Revelation chapter 8 and read a little bit from there as well. So we're going to start with Revelation chapter 8, verse 2. And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. Verse 6. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were, a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter. And let me just backtrack to verse 1 in chapter 8, because that is an important verse as well. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And just adding that in addition to what I had already read in chapter 8, the second verse, as well as 6 through 11, as people can clearly see if, they are studied, with the word, realize that the rapture and second comings and all of that, that's not going to happen until after calamity or after a great deal of the tribulation has already occurred. Like I said before, I'm going to talk about that in another video, but I just wanted to touch base with you guys with that before starting the uh, audio rip from the other video I wanted to link in with this video. So without further ado, give me 1 second and it'll begin.
during my prayer time. The Lord himself said, "I'll show you what's coming very soon." As soon as he said those words to me, I was instantly above the land, far high in the space, in order to have a better vision of all the land. When I was taken in the air, planet Earth was an awesome sight to behold. I looked at this beautiful planet of our solar system, that seemed to just hang on nothing, suspended there in the darkness of the space. Then I came back and I looked at the sun. Although I looked at it directly, I did not hurt my eyes. The Lord was with me behind me slightly to my right. Then he spoke to me and told me that he wanted to show me a big ball of fire that will hit the world very soon. The Lord said, "No one will see it coming, not even the astronomers and scientists." I believe they would not see it despite the fact that they have satellites, telescopes in space, where they're looking for anything that can collide with the Earth. I heard the Lord saying, "Look down and see." When I looked down at the Earth, I saw the Earth rotating slowly around the Sun. Then I began to observe the Atlantic Ocean, the Iberian Peninsula of Spain and Portugal, and the African coast. As the Earth turned, I could see the east coast of North America, Central Mexico and South America, and the next thing I saw surprised me, because the Lord focused my attention to a specific point in the space, that was not too far from the atmosphere of the Earth. Then suddenly out of nowhere there was a tear. I saw like an opening in the fabric of the space, and a bright light appeared, and then grape closed very fast. It had opened while my eyes concentrated on the land. When I looked, it was something tremendous. I saw a giant brown rock that was also dark, falling and being propelled onto the Earth at high speed. This rock had come out of the scrape that had opened in space. The next minute the giant rock appeared, and when this rock entered the Earth atmosphere, it was moving at such a speed that it began to heat up and began to burn, because of the friction. I was so eager for what I was seeing, while watching this in amazement without knowing if it would hit the ground or burn in the atmosphere. Right when this was happening, I could see darkness in the east coast. At that moment the Lord spoke to me and said, "This is what has been predicted since the beginning of time. I had chosen a day and an hour. My prophets have warned about it." I continued to watch the rock as it burned more and hotter, and finally the rock hit the ocean. The impact looked like 100 nuclear explosions. The whole Earth shook and it was hit violently by the force of the impact, and it was so big that the steam plume water, the fire went very very far to the atmosphere, while on Earth the place of the impact was like water boiling and a mass of lava. From where I was in space outside the Earth, I saw that the rock seemed to have hit the ocean somewhere around north of Puerto Rico and east of Carolina. It was very difficult to tell from a distance. I had nothing to compare to this impact, but I would estimate that it would be somewhere about 500 miles around the east coast of the United States. Then suddenly the Lord took me down. I was back on the Earth. From where I was standing, I was in the east coast somewhere around South Carolina area. I could feel the overheated air that was caused by the explosion. That's when I saw a wall of fire that was about 100 feet high. It was approaching me. It was boiling and burning and sweeping everything in its trajectory. I asked the Lord how far would it go, and he told me, "The rock will travel many miles." He said, "I have warned that I am a consuming fire. This is that fire." The fire was moving in great speed and it was tall, such speed that it looked almost like it was being pushed by something as it sped up and passed me really quick. And then I heard a loud sound. I can only say it sounded like hundreds of mighty waterfalls all together. Although I could hear this, I saw nothing. At that time, as we were far, I saw light that came from the trees and flames and poles of telephone lines and other structures that were burning. I saw that during all this time since the impact, the Earth had been shaking all the times with very big tremors and other small shaking, but the shaking was continuous and without stopping. I don't know how long the time passed since the rock hit the Earth, but I started to see the sky lightening slightly like the hours before dawn, and the noise of the waterfall was getting stronger and stronger. The Lord told me to turn back and observe the sea. While watching the happening, I turned to the sea and it was amazing. I saw monstrous waves, I saw a huge wall of water from where I was inland. From the shore this wall of water seemed to be hundreds of feet high. It was difficult to calculate since I was on the ground watching it moving. I seemed so small before this huge wave. In that instant before the wave ever swept me, the Lord came to take me again in the air. We floated over a city in the east coast. I don't know what city was that. It was somewhere along the coast. I saw the wave of the sea invading and fully covering the entire city completely. Since I was up there I could see the fire edge, and how far it had gone inland. It seemed like it had stopped somewhere around the mountains. The wave of water seemed to have submerged the whole east coast of America, and all along from the coast was completely gone. I looked out to the ocean where there was impact, and everything looked like the ocean was glowing bright, orange and yellow with lava. All the islands were gone since they were totally covered in water. Much of the east coast was gone and was now underwater. Then the Lord told me, "My son, this is what will happen very soon." He said, "Tell my people they should be ready and they must have their house in order. Many will be shocked when this judgment hit. The great rock will come from the throne of God to start up and to begin the end of time. This is just one of many that will hit the ground. My children think they will be gone in the rapture before this judgment happens, but warn them so that they will wake up. The biggest harvest will come out of this judgment. When this rock hit the earth it will be such a sign for the church and the world, that many will come back to me, and when revival hit the land, the blast of the trumpet will be heard, and then I will bring my children home. Before anger falls on the land, my children must regret. The Lord say have your house in order because this rock is hidden, but I will hit." Immediately after the tribulation of those days the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. At that time the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory. Amen.
I remember I had, in one of my past videos, I had told you guys that in one of my dreams and or visions that I saw a meteor impact near either Disneyland or Disney World, something like that. And it's funny how in this video that I just showed you guys, it talked about hitting off the East Coast with a meteor impact somewhere around Disneyland or Disney World, whichever the one is in Florida. But I'm going to play a quick excerpt from another source talking about um, an asteroid or meteor called Apophis that has been dated to hit the Earth in the year 2029 on April 13th, and this is supposed to hit off the on the west coast somewhere in the Pacific Ocean near the other Disney, wherever that one is. So it's rather interesting that I had that dream or vision about seeing that. Here's a quick 2-3 minute vid or audio rip from another video talking about the man who saw Apophis in his vision and is just speaking on it.
Year you had a dream that woke you up, and when we talked earlier, you said you're not always fearful of the things that you see, but this really caused some anxiety.
Yeah. And it's because when I go into those places, it's not like a dream. It's in full color. It's cinematic. It feels like I'm, I am there. And I woke up running across a mountain, knowing somehow that behind us an asteroid was coming towards the Earth. And there was thousands of us. And oh, by the way, people everywhere falling down on their faces, begging God to deliver us from this terror that was coming. So I was in a full panic. And then I felt it when it hit, and I knew it hit the Pacific Ocean. And as soon as it hit, the earth was shaking so much nobody could stand up. I heard a terrible cracking sound, like the mantle of the earth was literally being ruptured. Now, the details of this is in the book, The Wormwood Prophecy, so we don't have time on this program to go into all that. But yeah, it was very, very real to me. I thought that it was happening.
Did you, in the dream, did you connect it immediately to Revelations 8, or was that something after?
No. As soon as I woke up, I started to start writing down, and it was as if a voice spoke through my room. By the way, I don't know if there was really an audible voice or if it was just in my head, I don't know. But I heard a single word, and that was the word Apophis. I knew that there was an ancient chaos dragon, an Egyptian god of darkness called Apophis, and I knew that NASA had named an asteroid Apophis. But I really didn't know anything more than that about it, so I got up, I started doing all the research into the asteroid Apophis, because I knew that's what this dream was about, not about a dragon falling out of heaven. So I have a friend that I've known for years that is and has above top secret security clearance, works with flight analysis with NASA, and I got a hold of him. Anyway, a lot of details, they're in the book, but one thing led to another, and I came to believe that international space agencies, including the European Space Agency and NASA, are involved in a cover-up of the potential for Apophis to strike the Earth Friday the 13th, April 2029. So I believe that in 9 years from now, it is more likely than not that Apophis is going to make impact on the earth, and that it will be the fulfillment of Revelation chapter 8, verses 10 and 11, where it talks about the wormwood.
And Apophis is an asteroid,
It is.
a very large asteroid.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about some of the dimension and the impact that you describe in the book.
Yeah, so Apophis is 370 meters. In terms of feet, that's a little over 1,200 feet wide, or to put it into more mental imagery, 4 NFL football fields wide. It's traveling through space at 28,000 miles per hour. It weighs an estimated 20 million metric tons. And if it impacts the Earth, one of NASA's own mapping technologies says that if it does hit the Earth in 2029, it's likely to come down along the border of Mexico and California. So it's going to be a highly densely populated area. They estimate the deaths anywhere from literally tens of millions to billions of people. So
Wow. So, with that said, I don't believe in coincidences anymore, because we simply have things that operate in the physical plane and then things that operate in the spiritual plane. So, more often than not, there are no coincidences. Things happen for a reason because they're supposed to happen. So, whether or not it is true, a meteor impact hits on both sides of the coast of the United States near Disneyland or Disney World has yet to be seen. But just before I end the video, I wanted to read a quick excerpt from Luke chapter 24, verse 44. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. So in other words, all prophecies must be fulfilled before the return of the Messiah. And we just have to bear down, 10 toes down, and be ready for what's going to come. And with that being said, Shalawam, everyone. Have a good night, good rest of your week. And, be diligent and steadfast in prayer and the scriptures. God bless.